Energy transition projects. Nigeria expands investment window at UN General Assembly.
We must take the bull by the horns in financing our future. Africa shall finance Africa.
Central Bank of Nigeria recommits to single-digit inflation, reduces monetary policy rate by 50 basis points.
Our goal is for single-digit inflation. That's our goal.
Plus, Nigeria's livestock transformation agenda gains momentum.
A country with this potential needs to use this potential.
Good evening and welcome to the Network News. I am Olajide Bello. Joining me from Lagos is Hingino John Adams. While on our business news, the Nigerian government is out there in New York seeking for investments. Benny, what can you tell us about this?
Well, the investors out there, talking about potential investors, believe that if you're not yet in Nigeria, you're not yet in Africa. We'll give you more details in the course of the bulletin.
Many thanks, Benny. And of course, Badi Adile, what is trending in the world of sports?
It's Sports Federation election season. We've got some updates coming up and, of course, live results from the English League Cup.
All right, many thanks, Badi. Remember, you can watch these broadcasts live on our website, nta.ng/live, and on our other social media handles displayed on your screen. Vice President Kashim Shettima has showcased Nigeria's $200 billion energy transition opportunity for investors, emphasizing the need for partnerships to maximize the multi-billion investment opportunities across the country. He stated these at a roundtable hosted by the Business Council for International Understanding at the 80th session of the United Nations General Assembly in New York. State House correspondent Abdurrahman Jibrila reports.
Highlighting Nigeria's sovereign rating by platforms implies the country is positioned as the natural hub for the African Continental Free Trade Area's $3.4 trillion market.
Nigeria offers a vista of opportunities.
Vice President Kashim Shettima seized the moment to draw the attention of investors worldwide to the multi-billion economic reset across Nigeria as embodied by President Tinubu's Renewed Hope agenda. The Vice President told the global audience that since mid-2023, under President Tinubu's Renewed Hope agenda, Nigeria has embarked on one of the boldest economic resets in its history.
In President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, you have a friend, you have an ally who speaks your language, the language of commerce, who understands the dynamics of modern business, who was educated here in the United States. And he's a man of courage and conviction. Nobody was willing to bite the bullet. Nobody was willing to take risk. In our first day in office, he took the greatest gamble that any Nigerian leader had ever taken in the past 50 years. It wasn't part of his speech. It was at the inauguration ceremony that he announced the withdrawal of fuel subsidy.
On energy, the Vice President disclosed that with the 210 trillion cubic feet of gas reserves and one of the highest solar irradiation levels in Africa, Nigeria offers a $200 billion energy transition opportunity.
Since mid-2023, under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's Renewed Hope agenda,
the Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment said the impact of President Tinubu's administration's reform are already visible. GDP growth is accelerating, external reserves are strengthening, inflation is moderating, and investment commitment rebounding.
Building on this momentum, Nigeria has introduced a new tax act to modernize and streamline our fiscal regime. But tax is just one part of a much larger picture. We have built a 4-pillar incentive framework designed to reduce investor risk, accelerate cash returns, and make Nigeria one of the most competitive destinations for capital in the global south.
Vice President Kashim Shettima, representing President Bola Tinubu, was at the United Nations General Assembly Hall for the high-level meeting commemorating the 80th anniversary of the United Nations General Assembly. The event featured a 3-minute address by President Tinubu, during which he celebrated the spirit and successes of the United Nations, praising its legacy of peace, protection of human dignity, and entrenchment of development goals. From New York, Abdurrahman Jibrila, NTA News.
President Bola Tinubu has called for a total overhaul of Africa's mineral resources, saying it is time for nations to assert their influence in the African products global supply chain. Represented by Vice President Kashim Shettima, the president made the call at the 80th session of the United Nations General Assembly in New York. Again, State House correspondent Abdurrahman Jibrila reports.
A meeting for the collective action to bring Africa's mineral economy to reality for the benefit of the continent, pledging Nigeria's commitment towards catalyzing a mineral-led renaissance to unlock Africa's mineral economic future.
We must take the bull by the horns in financing our future. Never again shall we wait for capital to trickle in. With sovereign funds, blended vehicles and innovation tools like the Africa Mineral Token, Africa shall finance Africa. To safeguard this sovereignty, we must get our cobalt, lithium, graphite, gold, and rare earths, not as fragmented states, but as one continental bloc, wielding collective power in global supply chains.
He commended Nigeria's Minister of Solid Minerals Development, Dele Alake, who chairs the event, and the Secretary General, Moses Michael of Uganda, for guiding Africa towards a path of productivity and pride.
There are many opportunities for increased cooperation between the EU and Africa, especially as we engage with our private sector to bring sustainable investments on the ground.
There is a sense of insecurity in our world where countries are rearming. What will fuel? What are the components needed for this production? They are the minerals that Africa has. The strategic nature of this mineral is so explosive in terms of what the world needs.
Dele Alake called for cohesion amongst African nations, saying with determined and focused partnership in the mineral sector, Africa will harness in all ramifications the total benefit of a sustained and harmonized mineral sector. Meanwhile, Vice President Kashim Shettima also held a roundtable hosted by the Business Council for International Understanding in partnership with the Flour Mills of Nigeria and other conglomerates, urging investors to come to Nigeria as there had never been a time like now to invest, given the enabling environment and the ease of doing business. Similarly, on the side events of the UNGA 80th session, Vice President Kashim Shettima held a bilateral meeting with the Chancellor of the Republic of Austria, Christian Stocker, at the UN headquarters in New York, where both countries agreed to forge new ties and explore new ways of deepening their relationships. From New York, Abdurrahman Jibrila, NTA News.
And back home, Nigeria's livestock industry is fast gaining tracks through public-private partnerships with resilience and climate-smart industry to compete favorably with global livestock giants. Minister of Livestock Development Idi Muktami has said these are the 2025 National Livestock Transformation Dialogue. Yusuf Jika reports.
Federal government livestock transformation initiatives are reasons for this assemblage of experts to deepen partnerships that align with national development priorities. The intervention, which is private sector driven, is aimed at equipping workforce with transformative tools to face the challenges bedeviling the sector's growth.
A country with this potential needs to use this potential, not stay in the potential forever.
We are doing things that are not common or are not in line with the international standard, of which we can, as a nation, this is the right time we have to do the right thing.
Minister of Livestock Development, Idi Muktari said the current transformation agenda being experienced in the sector is powered by climate-smart approach. High point of the dialogue was the unveiling of Abyss Academy, established to facilitate transfer of knowledge in Nigeria's livestock industry. In Abuja, Yusuf Jika, NTA News.
And with me in the studio to throw more lights on the national livestock transformation is the Minister of Livestock Development, Idi Muktari. You're welcome to the Network News.
Thank you.
Okay, a national livestock transformation dialogue held today. What does this mean for the sector?
Basically, it was an assemblage of key stakeholders in the livestock sector. One, the Federal Ministry of Livestock Development is there as a partner. We also have a very big giant coming up in the red meat industry, the Abyss Group. We also had the academia representative from the Yakubu Gowon University, Abuja, were also there. We also had a financial anchor represented by, Nersal of CBN, which is also bankrolling what Abyss is doing here in Abuja. So basically, we are trying to see that, look, a lot of changes are happening in the livestock sector, but one fundamental thing that we have not actually recognized was the lacuna, the gap in terms of middle-level middle-level manpower. And therefore, the Abyss Group has come up with a brilliant idea to establish a livestock academy, Abyss Livestock Academy, with the support from all these stakeholders that I mentioned. So today was a beautiful day that was set aside. We had quality time to discuss, to dissect the red meat industry, the livestock value chains, and then see where do we need to plug in terms of getting the necessary middle-level manpower, the skills that are required to manage all these livestock businesses. So that is what it's all about.
Okay, Minister, sir, recently the federal government moved to ban open grazing in the FCT. What's the latest with this arrangement?
Let me correct this misconception. There isn't a ban on open grazing within the FCT. Okay. Animals that have been here have been found here. The city grew and enveloped them, and we discovered that along the line, the city is growing. There is no way you can have a city as beautiful, as progressive and functional as Abuja, with livestock moving all over the place, all over the highways, the green areas, the lawns, etc., etc. We observed this over a long period of time. We've started holding consultations, and we discovered that, look, these livestockers, the livestock keepers, really need to be resettled elsewhere. So we have started this dialogue, and we have also identified 4 grazing reserves that have been designated legally as grazing reserves within the FCT, and these are now being rehabilitated to accommodate these livestock keepers who are roaming the streets of Abuja. So it's a gradual process. There is no timeline for that. There is no punitive measures about it. These are people who are also Nigerians, but they've been caught up with the complications of the growth of the city, and there hasn't been any alternative grazing area where they can go there to comfortably pursue their trade. So this is what the ministry is doing in conjunction with the Ministry of FCT, again with the Mieti Allah Cattle Breeder Association, Kulen Allah Cattle Association, Kautal Hore, Kautal Hairu. We met all of them, we discussed, and they have given us their commitment. And in fact, to put commitment, physical show of evidence. Last Saturday, we were at Kawu Grazing Reserve, where we actually started drilling boreholes. We also examined the only dam, earth dam that is there, that of course it stays there throughout the year, and we have started consultations, and this will continue. We're establishing synergies with many MDAs to provide primary health care, to provide veterinary clinics, to provide solar energy, to provide internal road networks, to provide security. These are the kind of the amenities that are required to enable them to go back. So this is a gradual process that has started, and we do believe that very, very soon we'll start this relocation.
All right, many thanks. Talking about grazing now, the idea of ranch, where does this come in, and will it be free, or are there requirements to be part of requirements for livestock farmers?
Well, ranch is a model of keeping animals within a confined area, as opposed to people moving all over the place. It's a result of survival mechanism, finding grass where grass is, finding water where water is, moving from where you have dearth of these life-saving elements into where you have them. So ranch is a model where you keep animals in a confined area. Yes, the grazing reserve will turn into communal ranches. But again, anybody who has a business idea to want to go into livestock, wants to go into ranching, wants to go into large-scale goat or sheep keeping or piggery or even apiary, you can apply for land from any of the state governments, including FCT here. Just like land is allocated to any other business, you'll be allocated land to start your own private ranches. But for the grazing reserves, this is what we are doing. But of course, there are also opportunities for people who want to come into the grazing reserve to do certain aspects of maybe pasture cultivation, private veterinary services. So many other opportunities are there for people to come in. We want to collectively drive this development to make it habitable so that we can create out of each of these grazing reserves all over the country, each one will now become a sustainable economic hub with thousands of cattle, with milk, with organic fertilizer, with meat, with everything that you can think about.
Many thanks, Minister of Livestock Development, Idi Mukhtar Meha, for your inputs on the network news. We know you have loads and loads of information for us. Many thanks for your inputs.
Thank you.
Moving on, with various economic reforms of the current administration already yielding positive results, Nigerians are now to expect fiscal sustainability, which would ensure greater prosperity for the country going forward. Executive Chairman of the National Revenue Service, formerly Federal Inland Revenue Service, FRS, gave a progress report on the federal revenue collection at a briefing organized by the presidential media team. State House correspondent Musbat and Wahab reports.
Today I'm standing before you, I can brag. The economy is stabilized. We have met our target of revenue for the whole year. We met it in August. I've reviewed this morning.
The Chief Accounting Officer of the nation gaily reported progress in the non-oil revenue target for the year. The report expectedly has elicited mixed reactions of commendations and questions, and some Nigerians have been asking how possible. The helmsman of the national revenue has the answers to what it was, what it is, and where Nigeria is headed. The comparative analysis is on the first year of the current administration and 2 years after.
As at the time, the budget deficit is so high. We have over 30 trillion in ways and means, which is just printing money without corresponding production or economic activity to actually back it, which actually led to what we eventually are, which you call devaluation. This is what's on ground.
The Revenue Service boss credited the Tinubu's administration's reforms, which he said have successfully reversed the hitherto negative trade balance, multiple exchange rates, subsidy payments, high interest rates, and weak policy coordination.
Today, tax to GDP is around 13.5%. When you have our reserves now, we can actually import for the next 9 months without exhausting our reserve. Compared to the situation we had as at that time, that actually the net, if you put our reserve, is negative.
He believes with various government efforts at increasing job opportunities and purchasing power of Nigerians, ongoing infrastructure development across the country, as well as the tax law slated for implementation as from January next year, Nigeria's non-oil sector will continue to enhance the economic growth of the country.
The only thing that tests the resilience or sustainability of any nation is the extent of your diversification. How much can you actually generate from what you do that are within your control? We have 150 billion from non-oil in May 2023. From non-oil in September 2025, we have 1 trillion. And that is the effect of people believing and trusting that your economy plan is in the right direction.
And the reason is that the revenue drive has increased, and we expect that in the new year, things will even get much, much better.
With the reforms forming a new foundation upon which the economy is being built, the head of the National Revenue Service believes the economic fundamentals have been reset for a sustainable positive trajectory henceforth. From the State House, Musbao and Wahab, NT News.
And still to come, CBN cuts MPR to 27%, targets single-digit inflation. Details of this and more after the break. Thanks for being there. The Central Bank of Nigeria has reduced the monetary policy rate by 50 basis points to 27%, down from 27.5%, with a renewed pledge that its ultimate goal is to drive inflation back to single digits. Musa Abubakar reports.
For months, Nigerians have asked a simple question: when will prices stop rising? Now the central bank says it has reason to be optimistic. The Monetary Policy Committee has cut the benchmark interest rate by 50 basis points from 27.5 to 27%. Its decision built on 5 straight months of disinflation and a forecast that inflation will keep slowing through 2025.
We are seeing consecutive disinflation. We are pleased. Okay, this is the 5th time consecutive. Our goal is for single-digit inflation. That's our goal. Okay, and that is something that we are very resolute on, and we will not stop until we get there.
The committee also noted a calmer foreign exchange market and revealed that 14 banks have already met the recapitalization requirement, strengthening the backbone of the financial system.
We are building the resilience, we're building the buffers, we are looking at the situation, and we are reacting where we have to react, and at the time we need to do so.
For the bank, these are technical moves, but for ordinary Nigerians, the impact is deeply personal. Cheaper credit for entrepreneurs, calmer exchange rates for importers, and in time, affordable food prices in the markets. The central bank insists its vision is bold, data-driven, people-centered, and future-focused. For millions of Nigerians, the hope is that today's numbers will become tomorrow's reality. In Abuja, I am Musa Abubakar, NTA News.
Now let's do some business with Benny Adams. Benny.
Thank you, Olajide, and cherry news there from the Central Bank. Now, as the world gathers in New York for the 80th United Nations General Assembly, Nigeria is taking a front seat with a view to marketing the renewed hope agenda and attract the right investment needed to consolidate on sustainable economic growth.
We've match-made them with Nigerian companies, and we expect further developments, further iterations of that investment deal room. And so when you talk about concrete investments coming into the economy, we've looked at the priority sectors and how we would sell that. I mentioned earlier that we're highlighting about 3 key sectors. We're highlighting technology, we're highlighting solid minerals, and then the creative sector.
Well, from New York, there to Nigeria's capital market, where the market experienced a down day as investors lost about 326 billion naira. The all-share index, which attracts the overall performance of the market, fell by 0.40% to close at 140,929.60 basis points, down from the previous day's 141,498.44 basis points. What happened in the market? The market's decline was due to profit-taking, which is when investors sell their shares to lock in gains after a period of price increases. This led to a sell-off in several major stocks. Now, from Nigeria, we move to South Africa, where the South Africa JSE Top 40 Index had a positive day, showing an increase of 0.78% for the day, with Sibanye Stillwater witnessing a significant jump of 7.18%. Remember, the JSE Top 40 is heavily influenced by a small number of large companies, particularly those in the mining and financial sectors, and their movement can have a big impact on the overall index. Now to Kenya. Kenyan shares were down 0.53%, with the total value of shares traded as 288.79 million Kenyan shillings, and a total volume of shares traded was more than 10.3 million. Lastly, let's look at the Tunisian market, where the Tunisian market saw an increase of 0.36%, with the most active traded stocks including Carthage Cement and Paulina Group Holdings. That is it on the market, not just in Nigeria, but in Africa. Olajide, I'm waiting for you to get to participate in this market. It is gainful.
Yeah, sure, definitely, Benny. I told you I'm going to pick up my capital market lessons, but I think I'm redoubling efforts now. Many thanks, Benny. The federal government is reiterating support to the creative media skills sector in Nigeria to develop it as a global standard human capital training hub. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, gave this assurance while receiving the Executive Secretary and National Board for Technical Education, Professor Idris Gaje, and management on the CATS visit. Salu Abdullahi Gwanara reports.
National Board for Technical Education is one of the critical federal government institutions with the mandate to ensure the implementation of the nation's technical education policies. This collaboration is to strengthen the successes and seek the support of stakeholders in ensuring the effectiveness of the established creative media skills.
After the 70s, people neglected technical education, vocational education. We concentrated on paper qualification, and paper qualification is not taking us anywhere.
Our goal is to work with the agencies under your esteemed ministry to fully embrace and operationalize the National Skills Qualification Framework.
The minister assured that the administration has demonstrated political will for a positive turnaround of the nation's education sector.
I do hope that the MBT is going to collaborate more with NELFON to ensure that it's not just degree or diploma awarding institutions that benefit from this NELFON program, so that the creative sector that you are also coordinating is also able to hook up to really join this. I think you need to have a better collaboration with the NELFON to ensure that more and more of our young men and women are able to go to school. Thank you.
Tonight, we're gonna make this a night to remember.
That is Geoffrey Daniels, founder of Shalama, the 1970s American R&B group, a cousin and teacher to late musical icon Michael Jackson. He was a guest of the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris.
Even when I'm not dancing, my body is
We have to enlighten Nigerians about what the band, the Shalama band, stood for, what it still intends to do, so that the younger ones will benefit from your experience, from all that you have done. It's really surprising to see that you are already 70 years old.
I would like to be more involved if I can, if they will allow me to, because, you know, they have their own thing. They're vernacular. They put their native language in the songs now. They got their beats in that. So if there's anything I can contribute, I would love to do collaborations.
This visit is ahead of his upcoming Shalama show sometime in October 2025 as part of activities to celebrate Nigeria's 65th independence in Abuja. Salihu Abdullahi Gwanara, NTA News.
In keeping with her pledge to dedicate her 65th birthday celebration to the completion of the National Library, Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu has announced the sum of 20.5 billion naira raised for the project under the Oluremi at 65 Education Trust Fund. She made the announcement during a luncheon with members of the State House Press Corps at the banquet hall of the Presidential Villa. State House correspondent Adeniyi Taiwo reports.
I wish to appeal to those who would like to send a birthday card, cakes, flowers.
Many Nigerians were surprised to see this announcement by the First Lady, Oluremi Tinubu, leveraging her goodwill to enlist their support towards the completion of the National Library. A luncheon with members of the State House Press Corps is a good place as any to provide Nigerians with an update and pat them on the back for their generosity.
So we have 20,456,188,924.93 kobo, and it's still growing. Trust me, it is still growing.
But it all started with a question.
What is wrong in doing well or trying to build a society? If I could assist the post-war building process in Liberia, what is wrong in drawing attention to some of the areas of need in our beloved nation?
She fired the first shot directly hitting at some misconceptions and suggestions of political undertone surrounding our effort to rally Nigerians towards contributing to the completion of the library.
But this is just a love project. So their budget is over 100 billion. I don't want to speak on their behalf. My projection is we can build in the next 2 years. And Nigerians, we can raise the money.
With thanks, she reeled out a long list of Nigerians who have contributed to the fund while urging others to join the cause.
If we take our baby steps in well-doing, before long, things will begin to shape up for our beloved nation. We all have to rise up, play our parts in the building process. A grain of sand and a little drop of water makes a mighty ocean.
My question is, will this initiative...
Thereafter, questions surrounding our pet project, Renewed Hope Initiative, and how to sustain its transformative impact were asked and answered during an interactive session with members of the Fourth Estate of the Realm.
And I want to implore all of us as journalists, we are the people to take the message down to everyone out there. This is not just our project. This is not just a project for some donors in the banking sector, private sector. It's a project for all of us.
From the banquet hall of the presidential villa, Adeni Itewo, NTA News.
Senator Natasha Akpoti-Edwaha, representing Kogi Central, has gained access to her office after 6 months of suspension. For the first time, the senator gained access to the National Assembly after the suspension following the unsealing of her office in the early hours of this Tuesday by the Deputy Director of Sergeant-at-Arms at the National Assembly, Alabi Adedeji. Senator Natasha says she is happy to return to her office to carry out her legitimate duty as senator representing Kogi Central. National Assembly correspondent Isa Mohammed reports that there is no official statement from the leadership of the National Assembly on the position of the suspension and her return to legislative duties, which is still a matter of court litigation.
Central to the very best of my capacity.
To nurture the next generation of Nigerian aviation professionals, a mentorship program, Wings of Tomorrow, is igniting passion and curiosity among students organized by the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority in collaboration with Vanzota Gold. The program featured industry professionals who shared insights on how students can navigate their career paths in the aviation sector. Ramatu Abdullahi reports.
To many young students, pursuing an aviation career is often perceived as being limited. However, the reality is that the industry encompasses a broader range of careers. This was highlighted by 2 panels of seasoned professionals from various disciplines within the aviation sector, who used discussions, simulations, and real-life scenarios to broaden the perspectives of these young Nigerians.
Useful information that will enable you to take a full decision and make sound choices.
Most of the careers in aviation, people look at it that are male-dominated. But I tell you, there is no area in aviation that you cannot find women.
They have to be interested in the aviation industry, and they have to be obedient. Young ones.
The resource persons emphasize that soft skills such as self-esteem, interpersonal relationships, and decision-making abilities are essential for students to secure their place in this ever-dynamic and evolving industry.
I'm in science school. I can study medicine to be a doctor, and I can also study aeronautical engineering in the aspect of science.
And I also learned that the aviation industry is quite lucrative, because if the aviation industry was a baseline industry, this wouldn't happen.
The essence is just to sensitize the young ones on the opportunities that are available in the aviation industry, so that they can have their minds attuned to pursuing careers in the aviation industry.
To really sensitize them, to get them interested, because they really need to know.
The event also featured award presentations and gifts to students who excelled in the essay competition of the Wings of Tomorrow program, in which 5 schools in the FCT participated. Ramatu Abdullahi, NTA News.
And time to join Hingino John Adams at the Center of Excellence for Stories making the rounds from that zone. Good evening, Hingino. It's over to you.
Lagos. Skin and body care brand Nivea and Eucerin has donated over 46 million naira in support of cancer care and treatment. The donation, which is in partnership with Bricken Foundation, is part of the company's corporate social responsibility aimed at supporting cancer survivors in Nigeria. Ime Udori's report is here presented.
Everyone deserves a chance to live life to the fullest. But for those who are battling with cancer, this possibility sometimes appears unattainable. These supporting moments of care by Nivea is a partnership that goes beyond care for the skin. It is about caring for the community, giving hope and rebuilding dreams.
We are also fulfilling our social mission, which ties into our strategic objective of caring beyond skin and extending care to the moment of need, especially during cancer, to help people to get back on their feet.
It's mainly around caring not just for our consumers, but also for the society, and making sure that even with our environmental footprints, we minimize the impact.
Nivea, through its parent company, Bayersdorf Nigeria, is supporting this initiative with a donation of over 46 million naira for the rehabilitation, integration and empowerment of cancer survivors.
During this period, we donated 300 naira for every bottle that was purchased. And so we had posters in store, we had roll-up banners in store, so consumers were made aware.
And this is just one of the ways that we are showing that, right, in being able to reach out and impact the lives of cancer survivors and even those going through the treatments.
At the 2025 Cancer Champions Conference, Bayersdorf, through Nivea, demonstrated the power of care, fostering a more inclusive society and creating positive impacts.
Now let's thank the consumers for taking money out of their pockets to support this cause.
We're looking forward to scaling it up and seeing how we can achieve more, and even calling on other foundations to see where we can step in and where we can support.
With this donation, the partnership between Nivea and Bricken Foundation now serves as a reminder that hope can be renewed with positive changes when businesses and communities come together.
Sons and daughters of Ijesha in Osun State recently converged on Lagos to celebrate their rich heritage and promote their history, documented in a book titled The History of Ijesha Towns and Communities, The People, Land and Heritage, written by the Ijesha Society. Correspondent reports that the gathering underscores the significance of preserving cultural identity and communal history. This 354-page book, titled The History of Ijesha Towns and Communities, The People, Land and Heritage, mirrors the culture of Ijesha people and serves as a guide for future generations. It contains stories of their struggles, triumphs, and contributions to Yoruba land and the nation at large.
It exposes the cultural harmony, linguistic unity, and visibly unique structure and the people of Ijesha themselves, which distinguish them from other Yoruba subgroups.
It is important for us as forward-looking people to encourage the formation of more societies while we make the best use of the existing ones.
The public presentation of the book coincided with the 77th birthday of the revered king of Ijesha, His Imperial Majesty, Owa Clement Adesui Hasrop. For the king, it serves as another opportunity to promote the cause of Ijesha land.
I thank God for allowing me to see today, and I appreciate the love Ijesha people have for me.
We will live to celebrate many more birthdays like this. His reign will be a successful one, a peaceful one.
Since he assumed office about 9 months ago, it has been awesome.
As the sons and daughters of Ijesha land celebrate their king through the literary work,
They believe the book will showcase to the world their unique strength.
Those are the reports from Lagos. Network News continues with Olajide after the break.
Many thanks for being there. Security is the front line of defense in Yobe State, and the government in the state is exploring every avenue to strengthen this important backbone of the society. The presentation of 47 operational vehicles to security agencies by Governor Mai Malabuni is another investment made by the state to ensure adequate protection of lives and property. Yunusa Suleiman reports.
Out of the 47 operational vehicles, 21 were allocated to divisional police officers across the 70 local government areas, one each to the headquarters of police, Nigerian Army Operation Hadinkai, DSS, NSCDC, NDLEA, NAPTIP, NAPDAC, Immigration and Correctional Services, as well as one each to the 70 local government chairmen. The gesture, Governor Mai Malabuni says, is to enable the security agencies operating in the state to carry out their duties effectively and efficiently.
Let me call on our security agencies to reciprocate the state government's gesture by redoubling their efforts to provide adequate security and proper maintenance of law and order across the state to enable citizens to go about their lawful activities.
With this presentation of vehicles, I believe that we shall witness an improved level of security in the state, as there will be no excuse for non-performance of duty. This is because in the past, the complaint has always been lack of mobility to respond to security issues.
50 motorcycles were also allocated to the Department of State Services, Nigerian Army, Airport Security Team, and vigilante groups in the state to enhance their operational capabilities. In Damatru, Yunusa Suleiman, NTA News.
The Office of the National Security Advisor has presented two kidnapped victims to their husband after 33 days in captivity. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa reports.
The victims, Khadija Magaji and Fatima Magaji, were abducted in Makarfi, Kaduna State on the 18th August 2025 and were kept in Yadi Forest in Giwa local government area. While in captivity, Khadija gave birth to a baby girl. The coordinator, National Counter-Terrorism Center, Major General Adamu Garbalaka, says through dialogue, intelligence gathering, and coordinated intervention, the woman and the newborn baby were rescued without payment of ransom.
For 33 days, these women endured unimaginable hardship in the hands of their captors. Their rescue on 19 September 2025 demonstrates not only the effectiveness of non-kinetic strategies, but also the resilience and unity of our security architecture when we work hand in hand with partners.
The coordinator enjoined Nigerians to support security agencies with intelligence reports and commended the Kaduna State government for assistance. In Abuja, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
And still to come, sport update, but after this break.
Volleyball, as Musa Nimrod has promised a more advanced grassroots approach to volleyball development in Nigeria after being re-elected the president of the Nigeria Volleyball Federation for a third term in office. At the Federation's elective congress in Abuja, Nimrod emerged unopposed, with the congress unanimously returning him to consolidate the achievements of the past 8 years. Babatunde Omishore emerged the first vice president. Adamu Tenimo was voted the second vice president, with the keenly contested North Central seat taken by Boseit Amakere.
We're still going to look at grassroots development because aspect of grassroots development has helped us a lot. And today we have under 15, under 17, under 19, under 20, 23, and the senior team.
Well, and of course, that's the much you can take on the network news tonight. Let's return to Olajide.
Many thanks, Bade, and that's it on the network news. Many thanks for being a part of it. I am Olajide Bello.